fed up with you. You are making a fool of me. Gods, seize this rebel and throw him into the furnace of fire.
Nimrod wanted to be sure everyone in his kingdom would know about Avram being burnt to death by the god of fire. And so he commanded that all the men of his kingdom and all its leaders come for the great burning. Nimrod had no idea that really this is exactly what Hashem wanted. Yes, Hashem wanted Avram thrown into a furnace. Can you guess why? Avram waited in prison another 40 days, while everyone in the kingdom received the new law from Nimrod to come and see Avram being burnt. Meanwhile, the furnace was prepared with piles and piles of dry wood. Avram was taken from prison, tied and left on the floor of the furnace, where the guards carried in large logs of dry wood and made a wall of the wood on all four sides around Avram. The wall of dry wood around Avram was about 10 feet high, enough wood to burn for a very long time.
The wrath of Nimrod!
The logs took to the fire, and then the guards ran out of the giant furnace. Hundreds of thousands of people stared for hours, watching the flames going high into the sky out of the furnace. Avram was ready to die for Hashem. Avram wanted the world to know how mad it was to serve any other power except Hashem. And that Avram was willing to die for. Do you think Avram is the Tzadik Hashem is looking for? Let's see what happened next. Nimrod was so happy. He could not remember when he was last so full of joy that he was proving to his entire kingdom how mighty and powerful he is. But Nimrod did not know that really this was exactly what Hashem wanted. Hashem made a miracle and let the flames only burn the rope around Avram's hands and feet. But not one flame touched Avram. Hashem made a fruit tree grow inside the furnace, this huge fire. Avram realized Hashem must have done a miracle for him. But all the people watching did not know. They began to go home. 3 days later, guards were passing by the famous furnace and saw something moving inside the flames. They thought it was a person and realized they must be imagining it. It was probably the flames of the fire, looking like the shape of a man just for a few seconds. But they could not help look again just to be sure. It was a man! It was Avram! Walking inside the furnace? In the middle of the flames that were still on fire 3 days after the burning began? Impossible!
Impossible! Impossible! You say you saw Avram still alive, walking inside the furnace? Nonsense!
But before Nimrod could say more, a second group of guards walked in and asked permission to speak. Then they told Nimrod the same news.
I will go and see for myself.
The news spread so fast that even before Nimrod arrived, people were coming from their homes and places of work to see with their own eyes. Crowds of people were running to see if it was really true. And amongst them was Terah and his wife Amtalai.
Terah, Avram is alive.
And Avram's brother Haran. Nimrod came as close as he could to the entrance of the furnace that was still burning from 3 days ago. Nimrod could see someone walking inside. Nimrod turned to his guards.
Get him out of there!
Got him.
The guards came closer to the entrance. But flames jumped out. And burnt them on the spot. And they died. Nimrod did not know how to react to all this. He was not prepared for this miracle. He turned to another group of guards and shouted,
Get him out, I say!
But again, as soon as they came close to the entrance, flames burst out and burnt them alive. Hashem wanted everyone to see that the fire was real, and no one could stay alive inside the furnace except by the power of Hashem. By now, there were thousands of people watching. This was also part of Hashem's plan. Then a malach told Avram it was time to leave the furnace. Avram walked out of the furnace. Nimrod was frozen, stunned. His skin turned cold. His body began trembling. The thousands of people watching were standing like statues with their mouths wide open, unable to say a word. The shock was just too much.
How can you still be alive?
Avram smiled. The power who created the heavens and the earth saved me from death. Nimrod immediately fell to the feet of Avram, bowing his entire body to the floor. All Nimrod's ministers immediately did the same. From far away, people could see what was happening, and hundreds of people kept coming to see if it was really true. Avram's God saved him from the fire? Avram's God was the power that saved him. Avram smiled at the scene and told them, Don't bow to me. I did not save myself. Hashem, the only real power of the universe, saved me. Bow to him. Nimrod had no other choice except to agree that Avram's God was the most powerful. Nimrod was so impressed that he turned to one of his sons and whispered in his ears. His son nodded his head to his father Nimrod. Nimrod was still trembling with fear and awe.
Avram, it is true. Your God is more powerful than my God of fire. To show you my respect for you, I'm giving you my very own son, the prince, to be your servant. It is better he becomes a servant of Avram than the prince of Ashur.
Ashur is the country where Nimrod was king. Avram asked Nimrod's son if he agrees to join Avram. He bowed to Avram and said, I will be your servant for all your needs. Avram agreed to take Nimrod's son, and Avram gave Nimrod's son a name. This name was chosen because it reminded Avram how Hashem saved him from the fire of the furnace. Do you know the name of Avram's servant? That's right, Eliezer. Because Eliezer means my power is my help. Eli is my power. Ezer means help. Hashem is my power. Hashem is my help. As soon as Nimrod gave his son to Avram, hundreds and hundreds of parents came crowding around Avram with their children, asking him to take them to live with him and teach how to serve Hashem. Avram accepted them. He took the boys, and Avram's wife Sarai took the girls. The Kiddush Hashem of that day was gigantic. It was all part of Hashem's plan. You see, when Hashem has a plan, and a Rasha like Nimrod wants to harm Hashem's Tzadikim,
Throw him in!
Ooh. Got him!
Hashem uses the very plan of the Rasha to fit into Hashem's plan. Nimrod thought he was proving to the world how he was greater and more powerful than the God of Avram. And in the end, Hashem made all the people want to follow the ways of Avram. That day, many thousands of children were brought to Avram and Sarai. Do you think Avram was the Tzadik Hashem had been searching for? Was this test the test that would show how strong Avram could be? Or do you think Hashem wanted Avram to see, and others to see, that he was even stronger than this? Do you know what was the next test Hashem made for Avram? The rest of that day and into the evening, crowds and crowds of people were coming to Avram and Sarai, begging they take their children to learn how to serve the true Creator God, Hashem.